This is 2.6, part 2. So for this last section of factoring, we're looking at perfect square trinomials now. Okay, so in this case, we have a squared, 2ab, b squared. Okay, so you end up with this perfect case. For these ones, you do pretty much normal factoring, so you might not even notice that you're dealing with a perfect square trinomial until the very, very last step, in which case you turn it into this with the square on it. But other than that, it's identical. Okay, so let's try some of these out. So first here, we're going to look for our greatest common factor. So we have x squared, x nothing. We have 36, 12, 1. So there's nothing we can take out. Then we have x squared, x nothing. We do not need to reorder. Okay, so we have no greatest common factor, no reordering. But we have this that we're going to multiply here. Okay, so we end up with x squared plus 12x plus 36. The factors of 36 are 1, 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and 6 and 6. Okay. So we need two numbers that are going to multiply together to give us 36. And we're going to add together to give us 12. So in this case, we're going to use 6 and 6. So when you get these two identical numbers like this, so they're both positive and they're both 6, this is a clue that we are dealing with a perfect square trinomial. So when we write our brackets, we're going to have x plus 6 over x plus 6 over, so the number that we circled here, over 36. Okay, so then we can simplify this. We're going to divide by 6, top and bottom. So we get x plus 1 over 6, x plus 1 over 6. We're going to move the 6 out from the bottom there, so we get 6x plus 1, 6x plus 1. All right, so this is the step now where it's going to be different. We notice that our two brackets are identical, okay? 6x plus 1, 6x plus 1. So they both are plus. Every single thing about them is identical, even the sign. So we can rewrite this as 6x plus 1 squared. And that's our final answer. Okay, so this is the same as any other form of factoring, except at the very last step, you notice you have two brackets that are identical. So you collapse them to one bracket and you put the squared sign on. Okay. Next one, we're going to look. Do we have a greatest common factor? So first we'll look for a letter. C squared, C nothing. So no letter that we can take out. 4, 12, 9. There's no number that goes into those three. So there's no greatest common factor. We do not need to reorder. So you can go ahead and give this one a try. Try and remove, so try and factor this to the very last step. So you're going to pause here and give it a shot. Okay, so I'm going to assume you did that. So this, I'm going to go underneath because there's not a lot of space. So this is going to be multiplied there. So I get c squared minus 12c plus 36. And then I want two numbers that are going to multiply together to give me 36. And they're going to add together to give me minus 12. Well, I just wrote all the factors for 36 up here, so I'm not going to write them out again. So they're all here. Okay. So I look at those and I find that I need -6 for both cases. Okay, so, whoops. My -6 and -6 give me -12. And then if you multiply those two -6 together, we get 36. So my step here is going to be C minus 6, C minus 6. And then I want what I circled. Here I circled a 4. So I'm going to put the 4 in my brackets. And then I see if I can simplify that. So I get, oops, where's my, here we go. So I'm going to divide this by 2, top and bottom. So I get C minus 3 over 2, C minus 3 over 2. Now I take my number on the bottom, I'm going to move it here in front of my C. So I get 2C minus 3, 2C minus 3. And in this step, I notice that they are identical. Okay, they look exactly duplicates of each other. So I write 2C minus 3 squared as my final answer. And that's my final answer for this question. All right, very last question here. This one does have a greatest common factor. So I look, I have x squared, x nothing, so I can't take out a letter. But 3, 24, 48, these can all be divided by 3. So greatest common factor, that's a yes. Reorder, squared, x nothing, those are in the right order, no. So we're going to divide everything by 3 to start with. So 3x squared divided by 3 just leaves me an x squared. 24 divided by 3 is going to be 8x. And then 48 divided by 3 is going to be 16. Now because there's nothing in front of my x squared here, that means that I'm dealing with a regular, the regular method. I don't need to circle anything and multiply. Okay, and I do need to remember my 3 as my very last step. So I need all my factors of 16. So I have 1 and 16, I have 2 and 8, and I have 4 and 4. So I need two numbers that are going to multiply together to give me 16. They're going to add together to give me 8. So in this case, it's 4 and 4. So now my two brackets are x plus 4, x plus 4. I notice that they're identical. So I'm going to, for my final answer, write x plus 4 and then put the little squared on it. Oops, I don't want pink, I want red. So that is my final answer. And then for your homework, you're going to do, what page is that? Number 7, page 204. Oops. Page 204, number 7, A to F. Okay, so page 204, number 7, A to F, and that's the end of our factoring.